All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Channel 6 TV, Community Focus. I'm Kenny Fogel, your host. Glad you could be with us tonight as we had the Chamber of Commerce, Bardstown Chamber of Commerce Award banquet a few days ago, and one of the awards we gave was a Lifetime Achievement Award, and fortunately, it gave to come to one of my friends, and I appreciate him being here today, Mr. Robert Cecil. Robert, first of all, thank you for showing up here today.
Well, thank you for having me, Kenny.
Well, I appreciate it, and again, quite an honor, Lifetime Achievement. Well, you're not that old. Well, maybe it's a halftime lifetime at the halftime.
That's right, because hopefully I'm not done yet. I think there's a lot to be done and a lot more to be done, and hopefully I can contribute in some other ways as well.
Well, you packed a lot into a lifetime already, and we'll go through some of that here in a little bit. But first of all, tell us a bit about Robert Cecil. Born and raised right here in Nelson County?
Yeah, and that's one of the things I mentioned that night. I've been very lucky to be born and raised here in Nelson County. Been able to live and work here in Nelson County all my life. My whole family's from Nelson County and Bardstown area. Have a wife, Annette, been married soon to be 35 years, and my daughter, Beth, and again, been able to live and work right here in Bardstown area all my life.
Yeah, Beth. I remember Beth well. She's still singing, I guess.
She is, yeah. Just graduated college, and she.
Oh my God, I remember that. Oh, she graduated in college.
Did a little stint over in Europe, and she's back home now and getting her MBA down at U of L, and still really enjoys the singing. And I know, yeah, you remember her from your days at the radio station and the country showdown. She participated in it a couple of times, and yeah, she still really enjoys that.
Well, the first time I remember Robert Cecil, I remember McDonald's. So you spent a few years there starting out at McDonald's.
I did, yeah, and you know, I still, there's not a day or a week goes by probably that somebody does not come up and mention that to me. And you know, I started back there in 1977, and I was there for 23 years, and which is incredible. It was and really worked with some great people there, and still I have parents come up and kids come up that not kids now, but adults that come up that work with me there, and we talk about some of that and. Some of the parents that come up and say, well, you know what, my child started out there at McDonald's. It was a great start. You guys did a great job paving the way for them, and that does give you a good feeling.
Well, you know, if we talk about a Lifetime Achievement Award, to me, that right there on its own would probably carry enough weight. I mean, probably the people you influence coming through. My son, matter of fact, he got his first job there, worked there for several months before moving on, and I saw the difference in him just in a few months. So that influence alone, to me, is a Lifetime Achievement Award, leading kids and young adults in the right direction.
Yeah, we had a great team there, and we really did. We tried to take those kids and try to mold them and give them some, give them a path to go on that you know, and teach them some work ethic and that type of stuff. And I know they even mentioned it that night. One of the people that spoke about me mentioned one of the slogans that we had: "If you got time to lean, you got time to clean." So we did make sure they stayed busy, and again, a lot of them went on to do some really great things. So.
And McDonald's, you get into banking. I mean, it's quite a jump there. I mean, I don't know exactly what made you decide to get into the next career field.
Well, that's an interesting story, and it really is. And actually, and I didn't mention him that night, but my good friend and mentor that's not with us anymore, Gary Clifton, he probably taught me more about dedication and serving the community than anybody. Yeah. If you knew Gary Clifton, you knew that. In the year 2000, the franchisees that I'd worked for 23 years, they decided to sell 42 stores that they own, and they decided to sell them back to the corporation versus keep them as individual owners. Mm-hmm. And so at that time, I made a decision that I was going to do something different. Yeah. There was a lot of opportunity for me. I had opportunities to go with the corporation, go to Indianapolis. But again, I'm from Nelson County. I'm from Bardstown. I wanted to stay here. At the time, we were banking with Kentucky Home Bank. McDonald's was. And Gary Clifton was he was a customer probably every morning, especially to begin with when he was making that trip from Springfield, where he did live, to Bardstown. Yeah. So one day on my way home, and again, I'd already given my notice. I had no idea what I was going to do. I said, well, you know what? Gary knows a lot of people I said, I'm going to drop by and talk to him and just see if let him know what I'm doing and see if he could come up with something, or maybe he knows somebody that's looking for somebody. So I dropped in and really I told him that. I said, hey, Gary, if you've got a lot of contacts out in the community, if you hear of anything or anybody that's looking for anybody, here's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be leaving McDonald's. So a couple of days later, he gave me a call and he said, Robert, he said, I found the perfect thing for you. And I said, what's that? He said, I want you to come to work at the bank. And I said, the bank? I said, I have no banking. I said, I have no idea about banking. He said, I've seen what you guys have done there at McDonald's. He said, you don't need to know anything about banking. You come in here, we'll take care of that. And so, here I am 20 years later almost, and very, very fortunate to have made that move. So.
Well, just what I was talking about earlier, as far as, and you probably don't see it yourself as much, how much you mentored other people coming up. I think everybody needs a mentor. And when you were mentoring people at McDonald's, then you accidentally run into a mentor like Gary. I mean, and he was a fantastic guy. I mean, no question about it. I dealt with him a lot. And that, it rubs off. I mean, it helps you become a better person or something of that nature. I mean, obviously with Salvation Army, I mean, you're very dedicated to Salvation Army, and I know Gary was too.
And yeah, and then really that was actually when Gary got sick and he was the treasurer of Salvation Army, Gary would contact me and say, hey, Robert, can you take care of this? Can you take care of that? And, there's no way that I would ever tell Gary no. So, that's the point where I got a little more involved in the Salvation Army. And it's a great organization, and Gary's really dedicated to it and thought a lot of it. So hopefully I can continue to serve them as well.
Well, somebody thought a lot of you nominate you for this award. So apparently you touched somebody very seriously in that. And the fact that you won the award means that somebody else understood what they meant.
Well, I think it's good to be recognized, but I mean there's so many good people out there, and you see that when you're out there actually doing that and working out in the community. I mean you see that. I mean there's so many people that are deserving of this kind of award. I mean, again, and the Man of the Year and the Woman of the Year. I mean, you see those type people out there in the community when you get involved. I mean, it really touches you to get out there and see those people and what they do and how hard they work to make it a better place to live. So,
what else keeps you busy when you're not banking right now?
Well, I mean, again, I'm pretty involved. I'm on the Bethlehem School Board. A lot going on there right now as far as the new facility there. Salvation Army, the Optimus Club, did a little bit of a junior achievement out at Cox's Creek last year, and again, I've got a lot more back in return than I ever thought about giving. I mean, when and coaching, I coached years ago, and when those kids come up to you and still call you coach and say, hey, I'm coaching now. I'm coaching just like you. It gives you a good feeling.
Yeah. So somebody, when they called you and told you about this award, I mean, could they have knocked you over?
Yeah, I was really shocked. I was actually in the middle of a meeting, and I guess Samantha had called looking for me there at the bank, and they said, well, she needs you to call her back right away. And so right after the meeting, I gave her a call back, and I really can't hardly remember the conversation because I was in I was in shock, because again, as I mentioned, there's so many people out there that are so deserving of those type of awards. It's just that again, I think it's always just been a part of me, and what I was taught is to give back. Mm-hmm. Whether it be my parents taught me that, my mentors at McDonald's, Joe Goody, Gary Clifton at Kentucky Home Bank taught me that as well. So. And
your mom's still around, so.
She is, yeah, and again, she I give her a lot of credit. My mom and my dad. They instilled some stuff in all their children as far as, hey, and it's really simple. I mean, it really is. I mean, just treat people the way you want to be treated, and everything will work out.
Well, Robert, I would certainly congratulate you on it, because I know I've seen you over the years doing stuff. And again, and I mentioned this, is you probably don't see it yourself because it just comes natural to you. But being busy like you are and doing things and passing on is something that means a lot to a lot of people. And obviously you touch some people that Because a lot of people seem to be very, very pleased with this award.
Well, again, I was really honored to do that, and that award is not for me alone. It's for everybody that's out there.
And you got a lot more to do.
That serves. Yeah, I mean,
You're not done yet.
No, and I'd like to think that I can continue to do that, and you know. Originally getting involved, you know, of course, a lot of things revolve around your family, and you get involved in certain things to number one, to be informed, and number two, to give back. So now that my daughter's graduated and not real involved in a lot of what she's doing and traveling with her sports and that type of stuff, hopefully I got an opportunity to do some more.
There you go. Well, appreciate what you've done and keep on doing what you're doing. It's quite an honor, and he's well deserved.
Thank you, Ken.
All right, Robert and Cecil here, the Lifetime Achievement Award for the Bardstown Nelson County Chamber of Commerce. We appreciate him being here. Appreciate you tuning in. Stick around. We have a lot more to come here on Channel 6 TV right after this.